The year is 1996. Lennox Lewis is on the climbback after losing his WBC heavyweight title 2 years prior to Oliver McCall in a shock loss that the world and clearly Lewis himself didn't see coming.
I felt the referee kind of stopped the fight a bit premature.
It was easier than I thought, but I take it. I'm gonna have some hard fights ahead, and I'm looking forward to it.
After succeeding in some tune-up fights against top contenders and gaining a trainer that's brought many of the greatest fighters of all time to the highest level, Lennox now faces the toughest challenge of his career so far, the unstoppable force known as merciless Ray Mercer. Both are kings in their own right, but while Lennox is akin to Ghidorah with his electric jab and the ability to gain strength from weakening his opponents, Ray Mercer is Godzilla, a titan with atomic punching power, an uncrackable chin, and unbreakable confidence. Welcome back to Boxing After Dark. Tonight we're looking at two former heavyweight champions who are losing favor with their fans as each day passes, while still having a lot to prove. And to gain the respect of the boxing world yet again, it seems the only way to make things right is to fight each other. Let's get into it. Lennox Lewis is a fighter who has it all across the board. A beautiful skill set, the ability to switch up styles at the turn of a dime, match the level of whatever opponent he was up against, yet none had he fought in the past matched up to the terror that Ray Mercer protruded. A genuine villain to the heavyweight scene from the moment he laced up his gloves. Few wanted smoke with this man. But Lennox Lewis was one of the few. After all, he was in no position to avoid fighters after so recently losing his WBC title.
Lennox Lewis's career must now be in tatters.
How could a man who had just blown the terrifying Razor Ruddock out of the water and outworked the dangerous Tony Tucker be beaten by Oliver McCall? Well, this is what many seem to ponder, and none more than the legendary trainer Emanuel Stewart.
He basically was winning his fights on a big right hand and a tremendous natural physical talent and strength. Since working with him, I tried to improve his balance more. Aside from his balance, Lennox has to be more authoritative and aggressive with his jab.
After seeing such an unimpressive performance from Lennox, Emanuel, who had brought fighters like Thomas Hearns, Michael Moorer, and later Vladimir Klitschko to the top of the boxing food chain and dominated with, now took a shining to the man he'd just beaten and wanted to show the world that one bad night didn't make a fighter a schmuck for a lifetime. And after some very successful rebuild bouts against the former WBO heavyweight champion Tommy Morrison and Lionel Butler, it seemed Lennox had focused on his flaws and negated them. Gone was the slightly sloppy footwork of an old and underused jab. And with these hot fixes came new improvements, an increased set of combos and confidence. This was the champion many had expected Lewis to be since becoming a gold medalist at the Olympics in 1988. And this was the version of him that his fans hoped would stay. And now came the ultimate test. Fight night arrived on May 10th of 1996. And as the greats face off in the ring, the two await for the most important 10 rounds of their career thus far, as a decider of who will go on to get a title shot next, and who will have to rebuild yet again.
But he can take another step toward public acceptance here because most fight fans know how tough Mercer is. Mercer sticks a jab to start things off. It's been almost a year since Ray Mercer's had a fight.
Whenever my wife see guys with necks like that,
Mercer, a hard puncher, landed a right hand there.
they get in there and win points. But this is one guy, Lewis, you can't just...
Lewis threw a lot of jabs in round one, 47 by punch stat numbers, only landed 9, I should say. So that's a low connect rate, but it's the activity that matters more. That's a good output for Ray Mercer.
Looked like a borderline punch.
Never teach a tall guy to bob and weave. And as you can see, you give the other guy courage.
2 spirited rounds so far from merciless Ray Mercer.
Because Lewis is ineffective when you're close upon him.
But earlier in his career, before Stewart got hold of him, a lot of people said he was nothing but a timid counterpuncher.
Mercer's strategy should be to stay close, win points.
Good combination by Lewis. Mercer momentarily stunned.
That started that combination and hurt Mercer.
Another terrific combination at close range by Lewis. Mercer holds his arms back as if to say, I'm not hurt. I'm not sure I believe it. And we think the trickle of blood from Ray Mercer's lower lip may have begun. If so, Mercer landing a short right hand inside as he holds on to Lewis, and now Lewis is hurt by the right hand. Lennox not holding on. Mercer pounds away. And a great right uppercut by Lewis, and Mercer comes back. Spectacular punch stat numbers from the fourth round. Lewis threw 39 power shots and landed 29 of them.
A lot of this is because he's throwing those punches up high.
So that's why Mercer's corner told him
that he might be encouraged to stay with it.
Lewis trying to turn everything around with one big uppercut inside with the jab. Mercer landed a hard right hand counter.
Whatever he does, he can turn this fight around. It's equal right now. It's an even match.
Mercer again with a right hand counter inside.
Mercer got hurt that time, and Lewis was out of position to take advantage of it.
Lewis starting to freshen up a little bit. Good footwork, good combinations, and Lewis suddenly has Mercer in trouble. Can he do in the latter part of the fight what he did early?
And then when the fight goes on and on, you tell him to catch up on point.
A full understanding of that and the tactical will to make it stick.
Because he pretty much brought some of the power back off of it when he realized it was going to be low.
Come on. I'm not going to stand for that shit. Let's go. Come on.
Crowd likes Mercer trying to hit on the break, and Arthur McCanty didn't like it.
Mercer got Lewis with a good right hand. If you just put them in front of you, he will not do anything.
Both men landed. Hard right hand by Lewis.
Larry Merchant says something very important. Lewis is just not accustomed.
Cut yourself a new piece of bait, fish a little deeper. See what you got down deep.
I certainly wouldn't be surprised if judges gave Mercer the 9th round. He landed 70% of his jabs in that round.
I think he thinks that he could handle Lewis.
Neither fighter with a ton of energy left. Minute and a half to go. He hasn't had a lot of energy in this round. He's been throwing, but Lewis has been landing. Rises in anticipation of the possible upset. Lewis knocked off balance by a left hand. Closing seconds of the round. Lewis trying to flurry.
As the 10th and final round closes, the anticipation among the fighters, fans, and onlookers alike is reaching a fever pitch.
For the winner on a split decision, Lennox
Lennox the Lion Lewis is ready to continue his pathway to redemption, and Ray Mercer is once again in a tight, enclosed crawl space with the reaper that is age sneaking close behind him.
Yes, I'm telling you, Ray Mercer's got a tough chin, boy. When they said he's got a tough chin, because I hit him with some shots and I felt it in my hand, and he kept coming.
Well, I went out there, I did the best I can. Hats off to Lennox Lewis. He took some of the best shots I had to give the fight. I didn't think I lost the fight. It's becoming a routine for me, man. I don't know.
Like all good things, Ray Mercer's short-lived but destruction-filled career was coming to its end. Ray would continue fighting off and on professionally for over a decade, and after one more shot at a title in 2002 with Vladimir Klitschko that found him getting knocked out for the first time in his career, the crowd that once cheered for their hero now pitied a once great boxer who no longer packed the punch he once did. But while Mercer was always a fear in the ring until the very end, his outside personality has stayed consistently warm and enjoyable. As a strong, inspiring family man who dared to be great, there's no denying that Ray Mercer is a man worth glorifying, from his military to his boxing, and most importantly, his fathering career. Mercer's a talent and personality that the world should be grateful to have witnessed.